What's this? A subreddit where millennials are becoming boomers 20 years early? How fun! I saw this and thought it belonged here. If you recognize this, I've got some bad news for you.
Winky face.
Oh no, I'm pregnant!
Oh no, sorry, it's just some cassette thing? I don't recognize it, so huzzah, I'm technically 18. Yep, that's my age. Jackie Chan is 68. No, he isn't.
Yeah, he
No, he isn't. Evolution of the Aussie Freddo Frog. From a cheeky fella who looks like they sniff glue to someone who has an unhealthy relationship with needles. I wish I could say I don't know what it is, but yeah. I find my treasure of my old floppy disks to remind me that I'm old. My fondest memory of these when I was a toddler is always flicking that little metal bit at the top. These were the original fidget spinners. Rayovac Sportsman Red Flasher Lantern circa 72. Wow, what a long statement of something I have no idea what the hell that is. Is that a torch? It looks like the creation of some wacky scientist in an old 50s movie. I'm at a place in my life where errands count as going out. Hooray for feeling exhausted just after grabbing groceries. Did you have a cap like this? I did. Oh, we never had these in Australia. We did something much worse. We grew our hair like this. It was called a mullet, and it's coming back. I see it in children, and it scares me.
We need to bring bullying back. I don't know what's...
There was a time that magazines came with CD-ROMs.
Yes!
You could literally get a full game just by buying a $7 magazine. Age of Empires, anyone? Anyone? I still make juice this way. What? No, I'm genuinely confused. What is that disgusting heap of gunk? Carpenter's 8-track. We had so many 8-tracks. I'm really going to insult their love of music when I say this, but who? This game came out 32 years ago. People who played this as 10-year-olds when it released are now in their 40s. This really brings into perspective how, in the next 30 to 40 years, a lot of our politicians are going to be people who grew up with memes. I look forward to all the cringy political campaigns in that time. Kid.
Did they have scary movies when you were a kid?
Me. We had a scary everything when I was a kid. Go on, tell me, those of you who yearn for nostalgia, tell me how this is better. I mean, they killed off 4 out of 7 of these characters. It was like Game of Thrones back then. Cashier checks my ID in half a second. Me.
Oh, that was fast.
Yeah, I saw the 19. Me.
Hate you for saying that.
I'm old enough to remember the very first TED Talk. It was most excellent. What is your life goal? Is it excellent or is it only righteous?
If someone wants to just put like a sound effect of a crowd cheering, I can't be bothered. Yeah. Yay! Clap, clap. That was me slapping my stomach. That's as much effort as I'll give.
iPod on display at the Smithsonian Museum. Really shows how fast the world tries to move now when something that was less than 20 years ago is considered relic enough for a museum. My wagon versus my kid's wagon. Yeah, ew, what's with all that safer features and smoother design to make it more comfortable? Who remembers this cookbook? Not me. Haha, I'm still a child, technically, once again. I can just feel my body hair shriveling back in. Conair Hair Crimper, early 90s.
Nobody crimps my style like a fashion plate, or waves it, or straightens it.
As a 90s person, I can guarantee, either no one knew what they were doing or they didn't care. What are these secondary knobs? What does the bottom knob do? Oh, you want to know about the bottom knob, do you? It orders pizza at the cost of someone in the family.
Any kids around? Can't get my Windows 11 to work on my computer.
Have you tried turning it off then on again and suddenly getting sucked into an alternate reality similar to Tron? I know I'm not the only one who grew up eating sandwiches like this.
No one tell him. No one make him feel like anyone relates to them.
I wonder what the part of my brain that used to store people's phone numbers is doing now. They've been transferred to the department that reminds you what you did 10 years ago. I thought these guys were awesome as a kid. I still do to this day. You might be old, but are you this old? Ah, it's my favorite collection of grandfatherly testicles. My birthday party at Discovery Zone. I'm definitely old, lol. If that ain't an example that you don't need to go fully out to make your kid have an amazing party. Seriously, tables, chairs, a basic space for cake, and running around. I used to work at a family resort where I used to think that the aesthetics were just so cheap and there's no way a kid would enjoy their party in this sort of space, but oh man, I am always wrong. Back when cartoon Cartoon Network was at its peak. 7 p.m., 7:30, 8, 8:30, 9, 9:30, 10, 10:30. I'm honestly surprised that of all the shows here that should be put on late, Cow and Chicken is the one that's the earliest. Hell, Johnny Bravo may have been Andrew Tate, but at least he respected the women when they rejected him. Hasbro's Perfection board game. Back when there was no TikTok to make you feel insecure about how well you fit in. Ace Ventura: Pet Detective was released 29 years ago. Haha, I can say I was too young to remember this. I was literally born a year later, but I can still say it! Pink Floyd updated their profile picture to celebrate the 50th anniversary of The Dark Side of the Moon, and the replies are something. In case you somehow don't get this reference, their album literally has a rainbow on it. What's up with the rainbow?
I lose the rainbow, you're making yourself look stupid.
Oh, the irony.
What is that, Pink Floyd? What a disgrace!
From this moment, I don't listen to this band.
Are you going woke with rainbows? Is there a straight flag? I want equal representation. Don't get me wrong, we should all be true to who we are. Peace!
The 6-year-old flatly refused to believe that we used to navigate using maps made out of paper.
You mean like pirates?
Yes, son. I am a pirate. A limey one. That's a LimeWire reference. Did anyone else have this picture as well? Although physicists can't explain it, this exact picture was somehow simultaneously in 86% of American homes in 1986. Okay, see, the thing is, you could put any random picture there of any sort of picture and I would believe you. I can't verify it. 1988. The Pizzasaurus collection. Oh, I remember these. My sister and I would fight over these. I remember her saying she'd shotgunned the one on the far left, which, in hindsight, is very terrible foreshadowing. I'm sure I've already brought this up at some point in a video, but hey, if you'd like to ruin your day, Google Ducky voice actor. If you remember this, you deserve a veteran's discount. Hey, you. This feels like a punch in the gut. 2016 is just as far away as 2030. Does anyone else remember this cereal? Wait, they're not around anymore? Damn, I haven't had cereal in wow, I haven't had cereal in decades. Philips Underdash record player, circa 1960.
What a great gizmo to invest in. I don't think anything could replace this.
Who remembers government cheese? Yo, what? I can see why this isn't a thing anymore. Too many people would be accusing the government of trying to poison them because they don't know how to cook things properly. Reminder that the GameCube is officially retro now.
Gen Z likes to call the GameCube retro.
Yeah, because the GameCube debuted 22 years ago, you dingus. And in the timeline of video game console development, the GameCube is closer to the Sega Master System than it is to the PS5. Like, my first console was a Mattel Intellivision, and you officially have my permission to call turn of the millennium game consoles retro. I know there's a reason for this. As we get older, we perform more mundane, repetitive activities, so our brain doesn't really record as much. It doesn't need to. So while time is passing by as normal, we think something like the GameCube isn't that far away from us when really it is. Return of the Jedi, released in 1983, turns 40 this year. What? That came out in what? Dude, I thought that was like 1998. Wow, my childhood's a lie. Groovy new revamp of a classic show. Really uncomfortable with how much Photoshop they've done to the parents' faces.
We've all done this, right?
More importantly, do we still do it? I hope this tradition hasn't died yet. The hidden meaning behind the save icon. In Australia, one man explains that the logo for the Save Pick app is actually an illustration of a floppy disk, which was a device in the 80s and 90s for saving data. What is your target audience of people looking at this article? Those born after 2005? Back in the good old days where a 1 gigabyte USB stick would cost $40. Christine, 1983, featured a red 25-year-old Plymouth. If they were to remake it in 2023, how scary would it be? Yeah, not exactly as intimidating as the original. Besides, if you want a scary car, just get a BMW. They have microtransactions. What I think 30-year-old sci-fi is. Whatever this is, what is that? What 30-year-old sci-fi actually is?
Oh, hell yeah, I love Serenity.
The rear projection television that households had in the 90s and 2000s. Sometimes we called them big screen TVs. Oh, yo, I remember these! What an absolute eyesore they are now, my goodness. How I feel when I have to scroll down to the year I was born. Tick, 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 tick. Sis and I were reminiscing about a fast food joint we worked at back in the day. It brought back memories of the cigarette vending machine that was in the lobby. Haven't seen one of these in ages. God, I'm old. Welcome to the 80s. We haven't fully acknowledged that cigarettes are bad yet. There are many things I appreciate about getting older. This is not one of them. Me. My bowels. You have 30 minutes to find a toilet. And to show you we're serious, you have 5 minutes. These antique/vintage sewing machines almost everyone's grandmother owns. Not my Nan though. Instead, she has an extensive pile of containers of beads. She was ahead of her time. German woman claims she tried warning the USA about Chinese balloons 40 years ago. Well, great job. Let's just see how all the people who were in charge back then are doing. Oh, they're all dead. If you say you didn't want to be on this show,
You're lying.
see, but you can play this game all the time at your local supermarket. You win if you can race past the checkout without paying. Getting old is weird because you're still that same enthusiastic kid trapped in a Schmidt show of a body. It's like playing a fun D&D session with your friends and you've been afflicted with poison. All of you have, and there's no cure. You just have that forever now. It's slowly eating away your energy and your ability to move. It's so much fun. I am almost 30.
Why am I already doing that noise when I sit down?
Whenever someone mentions The Sims, this is what I imagine. Oh man, I remember the first Roller Coaster Tycoon, similar like aesthetic to this. Every time I tried to play that game, I got sick. I swear the color palette and the pixels it screwed my brain so much my body would kill itself. Kids getting thrown off right and left. Total carnage. Wails of anguish. Not one adult gave a single schmidt about it. Yeah, when this thing does it, it's fun nostalgia. But when I do it, it's you're under arrest, and stop throwing around my kid. Honestly, the double standards men face. Abandoned moles should be made into Gen X retirement communities. Needs to be 3 stories tall, food court, movie theater, arcade, Orange Julius, hot dog on a stick, skateboard ramp. This needs to happen. Yes, I'd be very much entertained to see some old people using a skateboard ramp.
2050 is closer than 1990. Skeletor will return next week with more disturbing facts.
Who remembers the Snorks? I don't. Who remembers the Solid Gold Dancers? I don't. January 20th, 1987. Unsolved Mysteries debuted on Nipika. Amazing. The very first crime podcast, but with visuals. Ringo Starr is 82 and somehow doesn't look a day over 45. Hey Ringo, is that a peace sign or just how many people you've sacrificed to keep your youth? To like a cartoon so much, you'd willingly eat canned spinach as a kid.
Alan's Popeye cut leaf spinach, misdirecting children's understanding of protein since whenever it was made.
The Seventh Guest, 1993. PC CD-ROM classic. 2 discs of puzzle to solve, full motion video, and spooky atmosphere. Could you imagine this released in 2023? Considering we freak out when someone calls us rather than texts us, I imagine the spiritual remake would be called The One Guest. That's just your Uber Eats delivery.
But he's trying to strike up conversation.
Today I took the last piece of wire from this ancient spool. It really hurts my heart that I was going to make a joke about how, oh look, you can be a returning customer after 20 years. That's 87. It's 23. Want to feel old? That's not Woody Allen. It's Bruce Springsteen. Can't tell the difference? It's easy. If you look closely, you can see that Bruce doesn't have a creepy relationship with his adopted daughter. My age no longer allows me to suffer for love. So if you see me sad, it is because of lack of money. Okay, Mr. Krabs. When I was a kid, there were 2 ways to die. Natural causes and talking back to your parents. That's not a good thing. Why are you implying that's nostalgia? That's trauma, man. Saw this at Target. Jurassic Park 30th anniversary. How dare you add an extra digit to that 3? The Hobbits then and now. Wow, look, they're all still short. Who remembers these? I don't. Nowadays, when kids get bored, they have their iPhones, iPads, and internet. I had this. I do welcome Gen Z to, please tell us what you think this is implying it is. When I was young, I thought this was the epitome of wealth and sophistication. Oh my god, yes, wow, I could buy that right now. Oh my god. I can live my Richie Rich dreams. Okay, update. I did literally just leave to go buy one. I've just had a slice and I'll tell you what, it is honestly pretty mid. It's no Messina, I'll tell you that. My first thought when people mention TikTok, let me guess, it's Keisha. Oh no, this person's older than me. Remember the feeling of walking into class and seeing one of these set up? You knew it was going to be an easy hour. Maybe even some nap time. Damn, dude, how old are the people on this subreddit? I was expecting a TV set up on some wheels. Annie and Molly then. Now, they're adults. Wow, who could have seen that coming? Which tower did you have in the 90s? I personally had the white one. It's 1999. Spotify and iTunes don't exist yet. You've just spent $10 on an album, which back then is probably like $20 or $25. 3 tracks in and you realize it freaking sucks.
Oh, man.
I hurt my tricep, then hurt my back trying to stretch my tricep.
Wallace and Gromit. The Wrong Trousers is turning 30 years old this year. I never understood how I actually found that facial structure to be friendly. Seriously, there's like 4 teeth at the top and then just an entire row at the bottom like that. What the hell?
Why don't I find it scary?
My printer turns 18 today. It could vote. That's the one burden of living in modern technological age. Sure, my printer has a touch screen, but back then they were actually designed to last forever. Anthony Kiedis and Madonna at the 12th annual Mativavamaz, 1995. Hey Madonna, can I have your jawline please? Cheers, thank you. What cables are these? If it helps, I live in the UK. Plus, there are 2 of these cables joined together in each bedroom of my house. My friend, let me introduce you to the world of analog. And no, it's got nothing to do with your butt. I want my 90 minutes back from 1986. Oh wow, okay, this is a story that deserves to be shared. Yes, I did Google it. You're welcome, by the way. In 1986, they found Al Capone's vault underneath a hotel. Tens of millions of people turned up wanting to see what was inside. It was broadcast live across America at like 10 p.m. at night. Everyone's so eager to know what was inside. Drugs? Money? Robin's cancelled OnlyFans. After almost 2 grueling hours of digging and dynamiting, they reach it. They crack it open. And inside is an old sign and some Prohibition-era hooch. That was it. It has gone down in American history as the largest scaled experience of blue balls. If you grew up watching this, yes, you are there. Hey!
These happy days are your and mine.